The first ever DanceAbility-Day celebration. Well, it began with a gallery of all these wonderful people from several countries coming to Impulse Dance to share with other people information about the work that they're doing with DanceAbility in their communities. And we organized our little tables in the gallery with all our videos and photos and materials. And it was a very special, sort of warm feeling, a big gathering of a family. And after that, we came into the space and I taught a class with Emery Blackwell, my partner who I've been doing DanceAbility with for more than 20 years. And there were about 130, maybe 140 people there with all different kinds of physical realities and unique mental characteristics, visual impairments, hearing impairments, and we danced a really splendid hour of beautiful dancing and communicating with our bodies. And it was a great celebration and a great validation of the work that went into preparing this day and the validation of who we are as human beings. Should we just come together and be in a room and call our attention and see what can happen? And there was really, really, really beautiful dancing that ended with a large circle. And then after the circle, people cleared the space and we did the battle, this dance battle, where we were basically making a little joke about the idea of what a battle is and what judging really means. And it was really beautiful because it was led in a way that everybody was a winner. There was nobody who won, nobody who lost. And so everybody's art was shared and appreciated. And everybody felt good about that. It was beautiful, quite beautiful. And then we had a speaking with a panel discussion. And Steve Paxton spoke just briefly about what the question of competition in the arts. And he said that there's so much competitiveness and almost combat and battling going on, and isn't there something better in us about our work than to use these metaphors of war? And it's a good question that we ask. And for myself, it's one of the reasons I do the DanceAbility work, because I was a contemporary dancer and really found myself successfully unhappy. And now I'm doing also that work, but this other DanceAbility work where it's the nature of people coming together to find themselves, find the expressions of their own body, allowing their bodies to speak, communicating non-verbally with another person to create the relationships, and then not even be lost in the relationships, but realize in relationship they're still in a community, and in a community part of an environment, and willing to put their attention to themselves, to someone else, to a community, and to nature. And you can feel the atmosphere change when a group of people do that, and you put that much consciousness and beauty in atmosphere, it can only spread, which is the intention of this whole day, to show people who we are, and not who we are separate from who they are, but when I say we, I mean all of us, who we are and what can we accomplish should we just give in the opportunity. And this event created an opportunity for many, many, many people to see, witness, and experience what can happen should we rely on the nature of who we are to express itself. And then that happened, then we danced a little hip-hop, beatbox, music dancing, and now there's an open jam happening with some amazing music from Otto Lechner and his friends. I think those things that we think are obstacles which we often perceive as difficulties, are the very things that strengthen us in our movement in the direction of following our own interest and desire. If your interest and desire is that which is good for more than yourself. And so the biggest challenge has been to continually stay focused, to always teach the same material to whatever population comes, and to find a way to be able to teach that information in a way that nobody is isolated and nobody is left out and nobody feels less than. Because our language, our relationships, the way we're taught to be social is disabled in its ability to disable people for not knowing how to continually try to work together to be together. And so we learn to compete, we learn to fight for ourselves rather than give up the fight and find out who we can be in a different position. So the challenge is to stay focused on that, because that's difficult. It's much easier to say, oh, I'll teach this group of people or that group of people, and then you know what will arrive and you'll know what you can do. But to truly be open to the moment and say, I don't know who's coming to this class today, and so I can't know what I will do until I see who they are. To trust and have the patience to wait for the moment and to believe that the guidance will come, not from your own intelligence, but from the wisdom of all of the bodies expressing themselves into an atmosphere. And that atmosphere can speak if you listen, and it can tell you what needs to happen to keep evolving the nature of that community forward. And so to stay focused on that listening and to trust, rather than to hurry up and figure out to organize it ahead of time so you know what you can do. That society has evolved from movement. Language has grown out of the body. All bodies speak and have something to say that society needs to listen to.